What is up, guys? It's your boy Nathan. We are back with another preview. This time, we're doing UFC. I'm very excited to be here. It's the first time in a while since I'm doing a UFC video. Very excited for it. There's a big card. We are going to preview UFC 289. Amanda, the Lioness Nunes, taking on Irene Aldana from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Right now, as you can tell, the Mexicans are in full flow. There is a big Mexican contingent in the UFC, and we have a couple of champions as well. Here we go with Parag. Parag's here. Parag, long time, buddy. We're back. We're back. Football's done for the season. I get to enjoy my favorite pastime, which is MMA, as you know. And we're gonna preview, man. We're gonna start straight off in. We're gonna start off in a couple of minutes, actually. Just waiting for a couple of things, and then we are ready to go. For the most part, yeah, I think we're ready to go. Hold on, give me a second. Yes, we are mostly ready to go. Just waiting for people come in. Excited for the UFC final, UCL final. Sorry, and Oliveira fight. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm going back to back with watch alongs. I think it's going to be like 3 hours difference. I'm going to get some sleep. Hopefully, Inter Milan do the job. Save football, as people like to say. I mean, as a United fan, I would like to think they want to do the job to win the Champions League final instead of saving football. But whatever helps City lose the final, that would be great. Hey, Vaibhav, good evening, good evening. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to the UFC fights, 7:30 in the morning, Sunday live watch long, 12:15 in the night, UCL final watch long. The streams are set up. You can hit a bell notification, hit the bell icon, and get ready for those. Those are already set up as well. Very excited for the fights, man. I mean, it's a good card. It's a good card. It's a good time to stay up. So it's a you know what I would say, in the next couple of months this might be the weakest fight card in UFC, but I think especially towards July and August, I think the fight cards are going to be fantastic. Hello. Good evening, guys. Good evening. So I'm very excited in that respect for a change in environment. I finally get an opportunity to watch some UFC now. Now that football's done for a bit, may do the international friendlies, but that's neither here nor there. Kraken's here. UCL prediction. Kraken. I'm not going to do a preview because there's no point. You see, I'll answer it quickly before we get into the UFC. Kraken, let's be honest. Man City are the overwhelming favorites, and rightfully so. They have had a fantastic season. Don't want to admit it, but it's the truth. They've had a fantastic season. They're coming off a lot of momentum. League win, FA Cup win. It's going to require quite an effort for Inter Milan to get something out of this. I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping Inter Milan wins, but I have a strange feeling City is going to win 2-0. I'm going to say 2-0 City. Second team in England to do the trouble. Unfortunately, I don't want City to win, but if I were to give you my unfettered opinion, unbiased opinion, I think City are the real favorites here, no matter what we like to think about them personally on a moral level. I think City are the favorites. Real here. What's up, man? Nothing much, dude. Nothing much. Everything good here. How about you? So in the meantime, guys, should we crack on with the UFC card? Give me a second. I'll just share the screen, and we shall start straight away with UFC 289. So here we go. Give me a second. I'll just share this. Present now. Yes. We go. Share that. Push me to the side there. Yes, I like this. Ooh, I'm not in the screen much. Oh, hold on a minute. Just give me a second. Don't need to be in the screen, but there we go. What is that? Is that a little bit? No, what? It might not actually be better, guys. Do bear with me. Actually, remove myself is sorry. Ooh, it's raining here. Oh, this is much better. Can't see me, but it's fine. We shall quickly move on here now. So as you can see, we have had some drop offs from the fights, but this UFC 289 card will be taken care of at um, in Canada. UFC's first foray to Canada in a long, long time. Uh, I'm very curious to see how the turnout is because Canada is one of the main hubs for fighting long time ago before the UFC started spreading internationally. Manchester actually rules whether it's red or blue. Yes, Man City winning USL. Probably true Real Madrid lover, unfortunately. UFC, wow, yes, I'm Madridista. Big UFC fan. All good, man. Good to hear it, Real CF. Do let me know if you can hear that rain in the background. I'll close the window. I don't want any disturbance. Hey, Lavanya. So here we go. We'll start off straight away. So, don't know if you can you see it? Hold on a minute. Oh, you can see it. This is perfect. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, guys, the card is kind of stacked to an extent. We have Firas Zahabi's younger brother, Ayman Zahabi, from here. Just brushing through the preliminary cards because they don't really show it. They don't really show the preliminary card in India. I mean, you can watch it through other means, or if you have UFC Fight Pass, of course. But just for a couple of noticeable matches, we have Ayman Zahabi, who's the brother of Firas Zahabi, who's the head coach of TriStar at Montreal, who is the head coach of GSP, in many people's opinion, the GOAT, the GOAT of MMA, or one of the GOATs at least. So he's going to be back, as you can see here. He doesn't have the most. He has a pretty good career. He's 9-2. As you can see, he's coming off of a Ultimate Fighter alum Ricky Tercios win. It's a decision. As you can see, he has 2 losses and 2 wins. He's 2-2 in the UFC, which he has for some decent competition. But he's going to fight this. I believe this is a Chinese fighter. Yes, Aori Chileng. Uh, as you can see here, he's 24-9. I think it's a good setup fight for Ayman Zahabi. He's gonna have to use his well-roundedness to get past him, though, as far as I'm considered. Hey Darren, hello. Yeah, Man City crazy. Yeah, that's true, Barbie lover. That's a very interesting name. Um, I just want to quickly move to this fight before we do anything else. As you can see here, the featured preliminary card, and do give your picks in the chat below, Parag, whoever else, Lavanya, everyone else. As you can see here, we got Chris Curtis, who is 14th in the UFC middleweight rankings. He's the training partner of Sean Strickland. They fight out of Extreme Couture. Extreme Couture and the Syndicate MMA. They cross train at these gyms. They're both in Vegas. He currently resides in Vegas right now, and as you can see, he's 35 years old. Uh, he's come off of a late. He's had a late resurgence. As you can see here, he's 30 wins and 10 losses. He's come off late into his career, but he's done really well to get a number to his name, considering he was a few years away from quitting. As you can see, his UFC run right here is 1, 2, 3, 4-2 in the UFC. He's lost to Jack Hermanson, who's a top 10 middleweight. Kelvin Gastelum through controversial scenario there, which he has unfortunately voiced his opinion, but it has not been reversed. There was a bit of an issue there. There was a headbutt during that match. I watched it live. There was a headbutt during this match, and unfortunately, they did not reverse the decision. And Kelvin Gastelum won a tight victory, a tight decision victory here. So as you can see, that was in April. He's having a quick turnaround in 2 months. He's going to take on Nasuddin Imavov, who's from Dagestan, but he currently resides in France. As you can see here, it's written right there. His nationality is French. As you can see, he moved to France at the age of 9. He's a up and coming fighter from France, and he shares the same trainer as Cyril Gane does, and formerly Francis Ngannou in the MMA factory in Paris. As you can see, he's coming off of a quite honestly, a very lopsided decision to Sean Strickland. I know people said that it was tight and all that, but I think he lost cleanly to Sean Strickland at light heavyweight. It was a short notice fight. As you can see, he's one, two, three, four, 4-2. One fight as a light heavyweight. He's 4-1 in the middleweight division. He's coming off of great wins against Joaquin Buckley and Edmund Shabazian and Ian Heinisch, who used to be a top 10 middleweight as well. He's fought some fantastic fighters here. He went down to welterweight as well. So he's fought at three weight classes. He's the welterweight, middleweight, and light heavyweight. Um, he's mostly, as you can see, his trainer is Fernand Lopez, who's the MMA factory head coach there. Dhruvaria, what's up? What's up, Dhruv? What's up? As you can see, he's a very well-rounded fighter, and he's 12th in the middleweight ranking. So you can see it's a battle of top 15 fighters. It's going to be an interesting fight, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm only going to make this pick very quickly. I think Nasruddin Imavov is going to have to use his wrestling to give Chris Curtis some trouble here. I think he's going to have to take him down because Chris Curtis is a very awkward fighter, and he has a good gas tank, and he likes to push the pace, and he's a very action-based fighter. That's why his nickname is the Action Man. And I think Nasruddin Imavov is going to have to use his striking, and he's going to have to be very, very wrestling heavy. Quell the takedowns. Chris Curtis will have a game plan because his teammate Sean Strickland, who's also a fellow ranked middleweight, was already beaten Nasruddin Imavov, and he's going to have the game plan. Now, of course, every fighter doesn't fight the same way, so it's going to be very difficult to see what comes out of it. But as far as strategy is concerned, Nasruddin Imavov is going to have to use his wrestling. Chris Curtis is, I think he's much smaller than Sean Strickland, at least body shape wise. So that's going to be a fun fight. And I think Imavov is going to he's going to get a decision if he plays his cards right. That's what I think. There we go. That's featured prelim card. And now we go to the main events. We go straight away. Here we go. As you can see, we'll pull up the stats as well. Give me a second. Just get the stats out. I think that's better. Maybe not better actually. Hold on. That's not good either. Trying to get the hang of this, guys. It's a little more difficult when it's not. We'll stay with this. Just get me the chat back up here. Okay, Nunes will shine through easily. We'll get to that, Lavanya. We'll get to that. I'm not so convinced personally. I have theories for that, which I'll happily tell you when we get through some of this. Um, so we have. Oh, hold on. Oops, I've done the wrong one here. Start out with the. No, hold on. Start out with the opening fight, shall we? Makes more sense, doesn't it? As you can see, we have power bar. Oh, I believe Aldana can win a stand-up fight. Oh, this is going to be fun. Can you increase your volume? My volume? Um, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. How about now? Is it okay now? Is that okay? So as you can see, we have Marc-Andre Barriault, who's a French Canadian. His nickname is the Power Bar, and he's taking on one of Eryk Anders, who has one of my favorite nicknames, Your Boy. Eryk Anders, as you can see, they have virtually identical amount of fights, virtually identical amount of results in the same way. As you can see, they both like to, they're both a little bit on the decision machine side. As you can see, an average fight is 15 minutes, and they're both above the 10 minutes, which means they go well into the third round, both of them. As you can see, all the stats are mostly equal. Eryk Anders has an uh, inch reach advantage. They're obviously both opposite stances. Eryk Anders is the older fighter as well. As you can see, strikes landed per minute, power bar, as he's like to be called, he's much more active striking wise. His accuracy is a bit of the same. The problem is both these fighters, they enjoy, as you can see between these two stats, 5.90 and 5.18. What it means is he's on a 1-to-1 ratio of strikes absorbed, strikes landed, and as you can see, Eryk Anders absorbs more than he lands. He has almost a -1 differential, which means he eats more shots uh, than he um, than he delivers. And Marc-Andre Barriault has the better defense as well. As you can see, Eryk Anders likes to mix in takedowns. Marc-Andre Barriault is more of a striker. He pushes the pace, wants to get them out there quickly. You can see that takedowns are not the most efficient. Takedown defense is a lot better by Eryk Anders. It might prove very useful to him as the match goes on, in case he does get rocked, as he does eat more shots on average. As you can see, we'll quickly just move on to the match. As you can see, Eryk Anders is just coming off of a knockout win over Kyle Dawkins, and he's lost his last two by submission and by decision. He's got a knockout. As you can see, he loses most of his fights by decision. It's very difficult to put him away. He has a submission loss, and I believe his knockout loss was against. Who was the knockout loss against? Thiago Santos. Maheta, back then, Maheta was putting everyone away. It was a difficult time, you know. Thiago Maheta Santos was very good. So you can see this is going to be a decision machine. As you can see, he has 5 decisions as well. Tends to finish fights late. As you can see here, rounds. Goes to a lot of 3-round fights, especially in the UFC. A lot of 3-round fights here. He has a lot of third round stoppages as well. Basically, they like to take the fight into deep waters, both of them, and it's going to be very interesting that way, I would say. I think I think if Eryk Anders, hold on, give me a second, guys. We'll switch to Marc-Andre Barriault for a second. As you can see, Marc-Andre Barriault, he's 1-1. He's also coming off of a TKO win against Julian Marquez. The Cuban muscle crisis, as he's like to be called. He's obviously lost to Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, who's been on a absolutely tirade of submissions. He has also Anthony Hernandez is also tough. Tapped out Rodolfo Vieira, who's one of the most what do you call it, decorated black belts there is as well. So that's no slouch to lose at. But as you can see, he does have as you can see, most of the majority losses by both fighters are by decision. So in my opinion, I think it's going to be a really tough fight. um, I think it's going to be a real tough fight, because I think Eryk Anders and Marc-Andre Barriault are going to go. They're going to slug, because Marc-Andre Barriault is in his hometown. He's going to want to put on a good show, which means he is going to most likely, the Canadians are going to spur him, and it's going to incite action. He doesn't want to get booed in his hometown. Nobody does. That's just how it is. Um, in terms of picks, hey Danish, hello everyone. Parag, Lavanya, any idea who you're picking? Are you guys picking Marc-Andre Barriault, or are you picking Eryk Anders? Eryk Anders has fought the better quality of opponents during his career. He was once one of the top prospects in the middleweight division. I think he joined the UFC at 10-0. And it was looking up. There was a lot of upside to him. I believe he was a former football player as well in college. So I believe he played for. I want to say he played for a big NCAA team. I think he played for Alabama. I'm picking the Canadian lad, says Parag. So he's picking Marc-Andre Barriault, which is. I'm trying to think about this, man. Blazers called Nasser Al Khalifi and told him to ask Sheikh to increase the bid, means they're selling. Danish, we'll get into that after the UFC stuff, dude, if you don't mind, just because, I want to stick to UFC here. It's been a while. But yes, that is true. It does look like the Qataris are. I don't know. It feels like they want to get bought out. Apparently now, the narrative has changed by the Man City ownership. It seems like they are interested in being bought out now, which is basically what we have not been told the entire last 2-3 months. That's what's so frustrating. So that's a little bit of good news. I think the threat where today is the last day of the bids has shook the Glazers a little bit, because I thought they're finally being exposed, and I think now I think we're going to move positively in that direction now. I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later now. I'm pretty sure of it. I have a feeling if Man City win the treble, I think the sale is going to be very imminent, because I think the Glazers will want to leave after that, because there will be a lot of backlash from that. Anyway, that's my opinion on that. So as I was saying, so now as you can see, we got, put myself back out here. As you can see, we got a featherweight contest in what I consider to be two very action-packed fighters. We got Dan 50K Ige taking on Nate the Train Landwehr. Now, if you haven't seen Nate the Train Landwehr fight, guys, I genuinely urge you to go check out Nate the Train Landwehr. As you can see his record here, it's pretty good. It's 17-4, 16-6. Dan Ige has been in the UFC for a while now, fighting top featherweights in the division. Also fighting out of Las Vegas. He's a fantastic fighter. He's action-packed. He's tough to put away. He's very gritty. He's always in there. And he's taking on Nate the Train Landwehr. I mean, if you see Nate the Train Landwehr's last two fights, especially the co-main event he had against David Onama, oh my God, guys, please, I urge you guys to please go watch it if you can on YouTube. David Onama, Nate the Train Landwehr. Wait, I'll show you the David Onama, as you can see here. I hope you can see that. Give me a second, guys. Hold on. Hope you can see that name right there, David Onama. Just go check that out, guys, because these two guys are fantastic, and I mean it. Dan 50K Ige, that nickname, he lives up to it. He's fantastic. As you can see, his average fight time, he's been in a lot of wars recently. He's gone into some 5-round fights as well. As you can see, Nate the Train Landwehr only averages 9.12, which means he has more finishes. He tries to get out of there early within 2 rounds. He has the 2-inch reach advantage, 2-inch height advantage, 1-inch reach advantage. They're both orthodox fighters. Nate the Train Landwehr is the older fighter. He's 35 now. Just turned 35 very recently, 3 days ago. Dan Ige is going to be 32 in a couple of months. As you can see, strikes landed per minute here is, as you can see, this astronomical figure of 6.47 strikes per minute. Significant strikes per minute is 6.5. Significant strikes per minute. Dan Ige is only 3.80, which I'm pretty sure is also above the average in the UFC. As you can see, there's a striking accuracy of 49%, and combine that with the number of strikes landed per minute, that is fantastic. We are talking about he's throwing 13 significant strikes a minute. That's insane. That's insane. And as you can see, the strikes absorbed. He loves to go to war. 5.51 strikes. It's still a positive. It's still a positive differential here. He still lands more than he eats. As you can see, Danny Gay is one to one. Basically, he gives as good as he gets, which is not a good thing. Sometimes it can be a great thing to watch, but not good maybe for your career. Striking defense is almost same here. No difference. As you can see, they both average the same amount of takedowns. They most likely like to keep it on the feet, but they're very well-rounded fighters. As you can see, the takedown accuracy of Nate Landwehr is much better, because Dan Hige doesn't really use takedowns. He likes to stand and bang. And as you can see, his takedown defense, of course, the Clarksville, Tennessee native, that is Nate the Train Landwehr, practices, I believe he used to wrestle actually as a youth. So you can see those numbers aren't very surprising there. The average submission attempts is 1.4 per 15 minutes. That's also fantastic. We'll just move into this a little further here. As you can see, Nate is getting the W for sure. You know what, Parag, spoiler alert, and because no one else is saying anything right now, I think Nate Train Landwehr is going to win. I'll sum it up really quickly, but as you can see, Danny Gay is coming off of a really lovely KO punch of Damon Jackson, the Leech, very recently in that same Strickland versus Imavov fight we were talking about earlier at the beginning of the year. I believe it was the first event of the year. It was the performance of the night fight. He absolutely flatlined Damon Jackson. And as you can see by the spread out here, +1. Yes, I think we're all going off for the train here. As you can see, he's truly a very well-rounded fighter, guys. As you can see, he has never been finished. He's never been finished. You have to keep that in mind here, guys. 5 knockouts, 5 submissions, 6 decisions. And as you can see, even in his finishes, he tends to go the distance. As you can see here, I believe a lot of his decision fights are actually in the UFC. As you can see, out of his 6 decisions, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 decisions here. That's 4 in his UFC tenure at least. 4 out of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 decision wins here. He's been quite a finishing machine outside of the UFC. As you can see, just by the quality of fighters. We're talking about Movsar Evloev, who's going to break into the top 10. We're talking about Josh Emmett, top 5. Chan Sung Jung, top 5 at the time. Gavin Tucker, very respected Canadian fighter of, I believe, out of Nova Scotia. Damon Jackson, former LFA champion, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. As you can see, he has wins over Edson Barboza, Mesad Bektic, who was on a fantastic role back in the day. Fantastic. He's had some great matchups here. He's not gotten a lot of easy fights, as you can see. He's even fought Julio Arce from a while back. He has had a buzzsaw of 145-pound matches, and you have to admit there will be some wear and tear on him, although he is still 31 years old, as you can see up there. He has gone through the ringer when it comes to fights in the UFC, and Nate Landwehr, in fairness to him, and he's much more fresh, even though he's the older fighter. As you can see, he fought for M1. He is their former featherweight champion, has a couple of defenses as well. Turned that M1 championship, featherweight championship into a UFC career. He comes out, he fights Gilbert Burns' younger brother, Herbert Burns. For anyone who doesn't know, Gilbert Burns has a younger brother. He fought in one, I believe, as well, one FC. As you can see, he starts off rough. Then he fights Darren Elkins, who was a perennial top 10 contender as well, the Damage Elkins from Team Alpha Male. Then you can see he fights Julian Erosa, again, another flying knee. He's susceptible to the flying knees, guys. Let's be honest. He started out well. He's only had 2 losses coming into the UFC. As you can see, 1 decision, 1 submission, 2 knockouts. He has been knocked out. As you can see here, he's been on a 3-fight tear here, where he comes out Ludovic Klein, David Onama, which again, guys, I really do recommend you to go watch that fight if you can. Austin Lingo, another fantastic performance there by Nate the Train Landwehr. And I think, quite honestly, if I am to be frank here, I think this is going to be a fight of the night contender. I think Nate the Train Landwehr is going to win, and I want to double down on it and say I think Nate the Train Landwehr gets a finish. Don't ask me how. I think he gets his first finish. Better fighters have tried, as we have seen. Better fighters have definitely tried to finish Dan Ige here. We have a couple of finishing machines here in Josh Emmett, Calvin Cater, Edson Barboza. Though he won those fights by splits and decisions, he's definitely fought people who can put him away, and he has survived the test, win or loss. And I genuinely think Danny Ige is a fantastic fighter. And while I think he will be the favorite going into the matches, simply based on his CV, as I've showed you, CV is fantastic. He has a bunch of top 10 names, wins and losses. Either which way the decision has gone, he has a bunch of them on his CV. He's fought in, I believe he's had at least one, if not two, main events. Yes, two main events, I believe. Chan Sung Jung and Calvin Cater, it's saying here, two main events as well. What that shows to me is that the UFC find him heavily reliable, whether it's a win or a loss, which is always a good thing when you're in this industry. And I think it's going to be a barn burner of a fight. I think it's going to be, I think it's definitely going to be fight of the night, unless something crazy happens, unexpected. I think Nathan Train Landwehr puts pressure on him. Not, I don't think Chanson Jung and Calvin Cater are pressure fighters like that. But I think Nathan Train Landwehr is definitely going to put the pressure on him, as we have seen by the stats. We're talking about 6.5 strikes landed per minute at 145. Is even at 145, where you would expect a high rate of output, it's really high, because as you can see, Danny Gay has half the strikes, half the stats of that. I think Nathan Train Landwehr is going to get the finish. I think it's going to be maybe late second round. I'm going to say he bobbles him and puts him away. But I think the reason of being will be the pressure. I don't think Dan Ige is going to be used to that pressure, even though he has fought better quality opponents. Pressure can sometimes be the deciding factor when everything's equal. And I think Nathan Train Landwehr, although an underdog, is going to come out with a win, stamp his name, show his arrival here in the UFC. And I think we're going to have good time watching Nathan Train Landwehr in the UFC. So I'm going to go Nathan Train Landwehr, finish second round, most probably KO. Might use his wrestling, as we have seen he's capable of doing that. There we go. So that's two done. Now we're moving on to a very interesting fight, guys. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the both these gentlemen, actually, because I'll be very frank with you, I'm not familiar with one of them. So we're just gonna switch up, and we're gonna put that out here now. We're gonna go with Mike Malott, proper Mike Malott as he likes to be called, from Canada, by the way, guys. Taking on Adam Fugitt. I believe Adam Fugitt's debut fight, if I'm not mistaken. So Mike Malott is a fellow Canadian as well. You got to put the Canadians on the cards, you know, when you're showing up to Vancouver and stuff. Now, before we get into any of these stats, guys, if I'm not mistaken, Adam Fugitt is 1-1 in the UFC. So what we'll do is we'll just have a little look here, because there's not enough of a feedback here for Adam Fugitt in general. So we'll just look at his Sherdog fights instead. We'll go with Yusaku Kinoshita, TKO elbows, first round, 4.5 minutes, as you can see. And then we have Michael Morales, who's a fantastic fighter. I believe he's from Ecuador. I believe he's from Marlon Vera's parts. I'm pretty sure Michael Morales is from Ecuador. As you can see, Pena versus Nunes, another fight on him. He lost by TKO punches. So he has one finish win, one finish loss. We got to keep that in mind here. As you can see, he has been finished twice in his 3 losses. He's lost to Austin Vanderford as well, who is Paige Van Zandt's husband. For people who won't know who that is, he's a former Bellator fighter who's fought for the title recently as last year. So as you can see, he doesn't have a lot of names there. He ran into Austin Vanderford, obviously, about 6 years ago. Both very young into their career. He's 1-1. He's 9-3. But here's the thing, guys. He's 34 years old. Adam Fugitt's 34 years old. He has had a very late start to MMA, where his debut was 7 years ago. Made his debut at 27. It's- I mean, not to sound ageist, guys, but that's a very late start to a career. As you can see here, he has 8 finishes, 1 decision. So he's only been on in 12 fights. He's only gone to the decision twice, 1 win, 1 loss. Basically, it's finished or be finished in this particular case, and that's what takes us to here. As you can see here, proper Mike Malott, 9-1-1, was 9-3-0, virtually identical records. As you can see, I believe Mike Malott is as you can see here, the much younger fighter. He's 31 years old, going to be 32 later this year. As you can see here, he's Niagara top team. He's black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of Ontario, Canada. He does his camp sometimes at Team Alpha Male as well, guys, as a little side note with Uriah Faber's boys. I'm sure you guys know who that is if you watch MMA. Great Uriah Faber. As you can see here, he has fought another fellow Canadian, Hakeem Dawodu, who's also in the UFC. Mean Hakeem Dawodu by finishing. I believe he's been finished by him. Yeah, isn't that crazy, guys? He's fought as low as featherweight. As low as featherweight. He's fought Hakeem Dawodu. Right now, he's a welterweight at the moment. As you can see here, he's 4 knockouts, 5 submissions, all victories by finish. He's never been to a decision yet. He has had a draw. Apologies. He's had 1 draw at Bellator. So 1 decision ended up being a draw. Otherwise, it's finished or be finished again. Another fighter that's in this avenue of exciting fighter. As you can see here, his average fight time is 6 minutes. Adam Fugitt's fight time is 8 minutes. Virtually identical. Adam Fugitt will be the lengthier fighter with and opposite stances as well. 4-inch reach advantage. That's crazy. That's pretty significant in MMA. As you can see, high strike landed per minute, 4.5 and 5.40 by Fugitt. Striking accuracy is favors Fugitt. Strike absorbed per minute does not favor Fugitt, as unfortunately he has a minus differential of 0.50, and his Mike Malott's defense is supposedly better as well. Got to take those things into consideration, as they both, as you can see, Adam Fugitt likes to take a lot of takedowns. He's 5 takedowns per 15 minutes. So you're going to see him definitely try to take down Mike Malott as Mike Malott starts hammering him. That's definitely going to be a thing that happens here, no doubt about that. Takedown accuracy is 33%, which is not necessarily a good thing. Averages 4 takedowns for 15 minutes, and he's 33% takedown accuracy. So he's going to go at least 10 plus takedowns in the fight. As you can see, his takedown defense is 100%, however, and Mike Malott's takedown defense is not very good at the moment. But he does average 1.3 submissions, whereas Fugitt averages 0. Wow, he averages 0 takedowns, which is not necessarily a very good thing, I have to admit. It's not necessarily a good thing, and what that tells me, guys, is Adam Fugitt's more of a control person. He likes to take them down, likes to wear them out, maybe get a TKO on the ground. Because 4.76 takedowns average per 15 minutes is very high, and he doesn't attempt any submissions, which means he's mostly there for control and damage. And he's going to try to tire out Mike Malott, who's not used to going the distance, as we have seen earlier through his own stats. It's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be another exciting fight. Everyone, who do you guys think is going to win? Love to know. We got to go. I'm gonna go Mike Malott. I think he's had the better fights. He has more of the momentum coming his way at the moment. His losses against Hakeem Dawodu, that was at 145. He was probably destroying himself trying to make featherweight if he's a welterweight at the moment. So I'm gonna go with Mike Malott. Parag is saying he's going for Adam Fugitt, the newcomer. Shouldn't say the newcomer, really. He's 1-1 in the UFC. So that's going to be a very interesting fight. I think it's going to be another exciting fight. I think the first 3 fights have, I think, do not be surprised if there's a finish in every fight on the main card. because there are finishers from top to bottom. Yes, I know Eryk Anders and Marc-Andre Barriault have a lot more decisions to their name than the other two matchups, but I also think that when you're a middleweight and you have power the way those two guys have, there's a good possibility someone's going to sleep. Danny Gay, Nate Landwehr, it's going to be action packed. Someone might get finished. In this fight, however, I do think definitely somebody's going to get finished no matter what. And I'm going to go with Mike Malott. I'm going to go second round finish, early finish. Parag's going with Adam Fugitt to steal all the momentum from the Canadian in his hometown and propel his own career, as he is 34 years old. So he's looking for a statement win. And what better way to have a statement win than win in someone else's backyard on the main card of a UFC pay-per-view fight? It doesn't get better than that, boys. It doesn't get better than that. Very few things get better than that, guys. And now, oh, here we go. We're going with the biggie now. I think it's time for us to enjoy this next matchup, because I think everyone knows what the next matchup is going to be. Everybody knows I love this fighter coming up next. Just give me a second. I'm just going to adjust everything first quickly. I'm going to push myself there. Here we go. Perfect. As you can see by the title, we are going with what I will always consider to be my favorite fighter whenever he's on a card. We have Charles do Bronx Oliveira taking on Beneil Dariush. What can you say? What can you say about this fight? You know what? Let's make things interesting before we discuss this fight. Let's go the other way, shall we? Let's go with the records first, and then let's discuss. I'm sorry, someone's put a spoiler alert here, guys. Someone's already predicted this on. That's mad. Hey, Charles is my favorite lightweight. Parag, check this out. On Wikipedia, someone's already predicted that he's going to beat Beneil Dariush by submission body triangle. How crazy is that? Go check that out on Wikipedia, dude. Someone's already called it. That's mad. How? We'll be heartbroken if we lose again, which is a high possibility. Yeah, we'll get into that for sure. But how crazy is this, dude? Check this out. I don't know if you can see it clearly there, but it's saying he wins Beneil Dariush June 10, 2023. It's not even happened yet. Someone's predicted it. Extended the record for UFC for most finish and most submission. That's crazy. Someone's predicting. Can you imagine if he wins that way? Can you imagine? Better clip this up, dude. We'll have proof that this has been predicted in advance. Someone's living in the future. Anyway, let's not get into that now. As you can see here, a lot of greens in our boy Charlie Olive's record. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 1 in his last 12. 11 and 1 on his last 12. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4 submissions, 2 KOs, 5 submissions, 2 KOs, 7 submissions, 3 KOs, and 1 decision. 7 submissions, 3 KOs, 1 decision in his 11 fight win streak. Only then to be tapped out, obviously, by Islam Makhachev in Abu Dhabi at the end of last year. As you can see, there is 22 submission wins, 9 knockouts, only 3 decision wins. One of them being Tony Ferguson, obviously, that started this UFC lightweight run. As you can see here, he's been knocked out and submitted 4 times separately, and he's only gone to the decision himself 1 time. Who did he go to a decision with? Let's see. Can you see this, guys? See how far back he has fought in the UFC. That's mad. Look at this. Look at this. His first fight was when he was 12-0 in the UFC. 12-0, guys. That's insane. He's lost to Frankie. Yeah, that's right. At featherweight. Yes, that is correct. That's his only decision loss. That is insane. That's an insane. Imagine if this actually happens exactly, Parag. Imagine if it does. So there we go, guys. 12-1 is his record in his 11-1 in his last 12. As you can see, Benny Dariush here is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 fight win streak. 8 fight win streak after going 1-2, 1 draw and 2 losses before that. As you can see in his 8 fight win streak, he is 2 submissions, 2 KOs, 4 decisions. Pretty even, more decisions than anything else. So obviously fought very tough fighters. Top 15, Frank Camacho, Dracaklos, Scott Holtzman, Carlos Diego Ferreira, who's had a fantastic victory recently. Tony Ferguson, Matthews Gamrot. Now, if you look at these records, guys, you can clearly say one thing, that Charles Oliveira's had the tougher run of late. If you go back each other's 8 fights, he's had much tougher run in his last 8 fights. Beneil Dariush has not had the same kind of, notwithstanding Mateusz Gamrot's fight. Also, that was in Abu Dhabi on the same card, by the way. Notwithstanding that particular fight, he's not had toughest opponents the way Charles Oliveira has had. So there is that perspective of it as well. As you can see here, the average fight time is 7 minutes for Charles Oliveira, 9.5 minutes for Beneil Dariush. Charles Oliveira, one way or the other, likes to get the fight over with. Both identical in height. Charles Oliveira's a 2-inch reach advantage. He's going to have to use his long limbs to his advantage in this fight. The champ has a name. His name is Charles Oliveira. Exactly. I want to see that rematch, man. I want to see that rematch. I feel hard done by Beneil Dariush. No one really wants to see him fight for a title. That's what it seems like, at least to me. But I don't want it at the... if it affects Charles Oliveira, I want to see that rematch. I want to see what happens in a rematch. That's what I feel personally. As you can see, a 3.48 strikes landed, 3.81. Beneil Dariush obviously absorbs less, but they do both absorb a lot of damage, man. That's what I've realized. They're not afraid to take damage. As you can see, Charles Oliveira is a 1-for-1 here. Striking defense of Oliveira is much... of Dariush is slightly better. Striking accuracy of Oliveira is slightly better. Takedowns, as you can see here, 2.37 for Charles, almost 2 for Beneil Dariush. Takedown accuracy is more. Charles obviously is making more attempts. He has a better chance of success. 34%. I never thought it was going to be that low for Dariush, if I'm being honest. But Dariush likes to keep it standing. He doesn't really like to use his jiu-jitsu credentials, of which he has many, by the way. We'll get into that for a moment. Takedown defense 55%, 80%, as you can see. He can defend takedowns. And as you can see, almost 3 submissions per 15 minutes attempted, 0.9 by Beneil Dariush. Yeah, I think that particular statement says a lot, doesn't it? Give me a second. Yeah, I think, guys, when you see this, it only comes to one thing. I think Charles Oliveira has had the more tougher fights, and I think if you go as far back as to the last 10 fights, I think Charles Oliveira has fought tougher fighters. Even if you see the last 4 fights, Charles Oliveira has fought Makhachev, Gaethje, Poirier, Chandler. Dariush has fought Gamrot, Ferguson, Ferreira, Holtzman. It's not even close, the quality. I think Charles Oliveira is going to have to be careful. If he gets hit and he falls back like he did in Gaethje and Chandler, Beneil Dariush is going to follow him to the ground. He has fantastic credentials in gi and no gi jiu-jitsu. He's a fantastic black belt. You cannot take that away from him. I believe. I'll just go check. Hey, Rere, I'm good. How are you, bud? I believe Dariush has 8 submission wins out of 22. Charles Oliveira has 22 submissions out of 34. So Charles Oliveira has more submission wins than the same amount of submission wins that he has that Beneil Dariush has wins. So as you can see, Beneil Dariush, while not afraid to go down and take the back and tap someone out, he has 9 out of his 22 wins by submission. 8 by submission, 9 by decision. He's a bit of a decision machine. Be a fantastic night fight regardless. I just hope it was 5 rounds as well. Good point. That's a fantastic point. I wish it was also 5 rounds, but I'll tell you what, dude. Considering I'm going to be watching the Champions League final, before that I'm okay with it being 3 rounds, bro. And being more action packed, because there's a lot at stake here if you think about it. There's a lot at stake for these two fighters. I mean, especially for Charles Oliveira, because he's kind of has to win this. I think he really has to win it more than Dariush does, because Dariush has not faced a lot of the top contenders. So even if he loses, he can have a matchup with one of the losing top 5 people and build his at least one more chance to get to a title. But Charles Oliveira kind of, I mean, he has to fight very lower down the rankings, because he's beaten everyone below him already. He's gonna have to fight way below the rankings if he wants to build up another round of another title shot run, because he's only 31 years old. Whoever wins this fight gets a title shot right there. So that's what Dana White's saying, Parag. That's what Dana White's saying. Who the hell knows? You know how Dana White is. I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it personally. But that is what Dana White is saying indeed. So let's see if that is the case. To sum it up, guys, I think I'm gonna go with Charles Oliveira. You know what? Beneil Dariush has been susceptible to a strike or not, man. I think Charles Oliveira might try throw some flying knees there. I'm gonna say Charles Oliveira by. Beneil Dariush likes to put pressure, dude. Charles Oliveira doesn't necessarily like people who put pressure on him. I'm gonna say Charles Oliveira. I think he's gonna throw a flying knee, man. I think he's focusing on being more happy during the camp. Yeah, man, he's looking good. He's looking in good spirits now. I think winning that belt has released a lot of pressure on him, on his shoulders, dude. I think that championship money has changed his life a little bit. Now I think he's just trying to enjoy it more. Now when you're at the top, when you reach the top, very few people reach the top, Parag. And once you reach the top, you do get that relief. I've seen a lot of people say it, man. I've seen a lot of people say you get that relief of achieving that dream, and then only the real goats never happy with that. They keep pushing themselves. So some people are just happy with achieving a dream, and some people want to go that little bit extra. The title defenses route. Charles will go for first round KO. I will say Charles by TKO. I'm gonna go ahead and say Charles. I don't know why I'm thinking this, but I feel like he's gonna get a knee or a kick flush down the middle, when Dariush is maybe scrambling or trying to go for a takedown. I think he knocks him out like that, kind of a little bit like how Ramsey Najam knocked him out a long time ago in Dubai, ages ago. I don't know if you've ever seen that fight. It was, I think, Ramsey Najam is the guy who lost Tony Ferguson in TUF 13. I believe they fought in Abu Dhabi. And I think Ramsey Najam knocked him out in Dubai or Abu Dhabi. I think it was UFC 112. Don't quote me on that, guys. Memory is not as good as it used to be. But yeah, I think in the commotion and the scrambling and the heat of the moment, I think Charles Oliveira is going to throw something down the middle, which Beneil Dariush doesn't see, and I think he's going to get the TKO second roundish. If it goes to decision, then I don't know. That's true, man, because who knows where Charles's conditioning is. It's a big worry for me personally. But I'm gonna go Charles Oliveira. Let's go. Let's not stall, boys. Let's make the pick and live with it. And let's go, Charles. Get this W, please. Exactly, man. I want to see him in October again, back at the place he lost his title. Can you imagine going back to the place where he lost his title, the face of Islamic MMA in his backyard, beats him, unseats him as lightweight champion. Maybe a possible trilogy in Brazil. You never know. 2 fights in Abu Dhabi. He gave him his due. Maybe Charles gets his due on the way back. for a trilogy. That would be fantastic if that happens. You never know, man. Stranger things have happened in MMA. But let's get on to it. Here we go with the headline: the return of the GOAT, the greatest woman fighter of all time, Amanda the Lioness Nunes, taking on Irene Aldana from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. She is a training partner of the current strawweight champion Alexa Grasso, who's definitely shocked the world earlier this year by unseating the only UFC women's flyweight champion to this date, Valentina Shevchenko, by finish, might add, by a rear naked choke, if I remember correctly. So we are going to believe. I genuinely think he's the only one who can beat Islam. I think him or Beneil can beat them, Parag. Honestly, I don't think anyone else can, because Beneil has the jiu-jitsu to be comfortable if he's on the ground as well. But I don't really know anyone else at the moment, man. If I'm being honest, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Armin Sarukian gave him a good fight in Russia, but Armin Sarukian's way off right now from a title shot, and I believe he's already got a match lined up as well. So we got Amanda Nunes taking on Irene Aldana. So what was originally supposed to be the trilogy where Amanda Nunes fights Juliana Pena for the third time. Juliana Pena had to pull out of the fight due to injury. And Irene Aldana, who's everyone thought should have been the contender to begin with, takes this fight on not short notice, but shorter notice than a planned title fight would be, because of Pena dropping out, or Chandler considering G.O.A.T. And that's possible, man. Possible. That's possible. I haven't seen Chandler scramble as much. That will be fun to see. The scrambling of it is quality scrambling against Islam. So it was supposed to be a trilogy, but Irene Aldana stepped in. The momentum of that gym in Guadalajara, Mexico right now Mexico's on a complete high right now. We got Yair Rodriguez, interim featherweight champion, Brandon Moreno, flyweight men's champion, Alexa Grasso, flyweight women's champion, and now Irene Aldana fighting for a title. Mexico could have 4 champions by the end of this week, which would basically be great for UFC, because that means UFC Mexico would be on card will be on the way, probably a pay-per-view, which would be great for the UFC standpoint of view, as well as obviously promoting continuous promotion in North America and in neighboring countries. So that's always going to be a good thing. As far as the fight's concerned, guys, as you can see here, we got Amanda Nunes' 22-5 record versus Irene Aldana's 14-6 record. If I'm not mistaken, they're both around the same age. I believe they're both 35. Wait, why did I go here? It was right here, isn't it? Yeah. Ooh. Irene Aldana is actually older than her by 2 months. As you can see, they're both 35. March and May, respectively. She's had considerably less fights in the UFC, as you can see there. So as you can, and they have identical reach and height advantages. It's an inch, give or take. That's normally not significant, depending on your style, especially if they both are heavy strikers. As you can see, 4.4 strikes landed per minute, 5.39 strikes landed per minute for Irene Aldana, 51% striking accuracy, 39% accuracy, which is all right considering she throws more in general. Unfortunately, as you can see, a negative differential again. We have the 5.71 here, which is just a tad over 5.39. And as you can see, Amanda Nunes eats a lot less strikes because people are very scared to stand up with her, especially at the beginning of a UFC title run. As you can see, the striking defense obviously will favor Irene Aldana simply because of a boxing background and awkward striking. Amanda Nunes was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt who's become much more well-rounded over the years due to her incredible power in both her hands, I might add. She's become a great striker while being under the tutelage of American Top Team. Of course, now she works out of her own gym, Lioness MMA, down the road somewhere, not too far away in Florida. She's opened her own gym and has her own select training partners and coaches. And I believe she has said she's going to see out the rest of her career from this gym. So basically, she's going to have her own coaches who own cornermen, not with no links to her ATT at the moment. As you can see here, 2.61 takedowns. As you can see, Alexa Grasso being said she has a striking background, doesn't try to take attempts. Decent takedown defense for a striker. In fact, I would say a very good takedown accuracy for a striker, 50%. 56%, it's a little low from what Amanda Nunes' background is, but let's be honest, it normally doesn't go this long enough for her to take down people to begin with. As you can see, the takedown defense 82% to 81%. Very impressive takedown accuracy and defense by Irene Aldana. She shows that she is shoring up her ground game a little bit as much as she can. And as you can see, the average submissions. Let's just say both these fighters have no interest in having submission wins. And let's just put it that way. As you can both see, they're both 2-1 in their last three, or 3-1 in the last four. You can whatever, you can go down there. 4-1 in the last five. Irene Aldana has lost to Holly Holm, who's probably the next best bantamweight in the division. And obviously, Amanda Nunes losing to Juliana Pena. As you can see here, Irene Aldana is on 2-fight win streak. As you can see, she's coming off the decision loss, beating Yanat Kunitskaya and Macy Chasson, beating Caitlin Vieira. These are all top 5 fighters at the time. Obviously, the loss to Holm is damaging. Raquel Pennington also top 5 there. Caitlin Chukagian, obviously a top 5 flyweight. Leslie Smith, the pioneer. She's had some tough fights, man. She's had some tough fights in the UFC. It's not been easy for her. It's not been easy. She started on 2-fight losing streak, 1-3, lost 1-1-2, lost 1-1-2. Been a bit up and down performances, but she has been improving, obviously. The Macy Chasson kick was a beautiful up kick to the body, just an absolute liver shot, just turned the lights off completely. So that was a nice win there to have gather some momentum. Of course, as you can see, she last fought in September, which is a while back, to be fair. And let's hope there's not too much ring rust, even though she hasn't been injured. As you can see, it's going to be almost a year since Amanda Nunes has fought, because she last fought in July. She's even fought it's been even a longer layoff for Amanda Nunes, and you must wonder if you are just a regular person, you gotta wonder where she is mentally in terms of how long she wants to do this left. So as you can see here, this is a crazy record. So she's 9-4 here. So she's won 12. She's 13-1 in her last 14 fights. What was a once mediocre record till this point has become an absolute stellar record. 2 wins over Valentina Shevchenko, smashed Rousey, smashed Tate, smashed Pennington, smashed Cyborg in like 2 minutes, 1 minute, I should say. This was a brutal one where Holly Holm fakes the head kick. She kind of pulls away from the head kick and then eats a head kick of her own. Germaine de Randamie, where she used her grappling, because Germaine de Randamie's striking is fantastic and she wasn't winning that fight. She couldn't put her away. So she had to resort to her grappling for this. Felicia Spencer, who really won one fight and then got the title shot. She was very overmatched, quite honestly, but she did survive the fight. Megan Anderson this was a brutal submission. If you see how her elbow bent, it was brutal. Juliana Pena obviously just dogged her out and then, just submitted her. It was just a dogged performance by Juliana Pena, and it repeated in the next fight where she just got battered for 25 minutes. I think she won 1 round in that 5-round fight in the next match. She was just beaten, battered and bruised. It was a very eye-opening performance, if I'm being very honest. So my thoughts are this: Parag Singh, I say Amanda, but Aldana has a solid chance if it's all stand up. Amanda has to try grappling though. So this is my thing, man. This is my take on this, Parag. I don't know how. If I'm being really, really honest, I don't know what kind of mindset Amanda Nunes is on. Taking a 1-year layoff. I don't believe she had any injuries after the Juliana Pena fight. Changed camps. She's 1-1 in this new Lioness MMA thing. Top that off with Aldana's awkward boxing, very, very crisp boxing, lengthy, long fighter, thin. those limbs can be put to great use. Amanda Nunes is a big heavy girl, but she is a little more compact, just a little bit more, not too much, but she looks more compact. I see there's only 1 inch difference, but she feels, even though she has the reach advantage 1 inch, Irene Aldana looks quite long and lanky as a build type, and she has this heavy jab that'll tear you apart from distance. Amanda Nunes is so used to marauding people that it's going to be interesting to see if Aldana can cut angles and just tear her up on the outside. It'll force Amanda Nunes to maybe shoot, do something different. Amanda Nunes has had nose issues as she had to pull out of a second Valentina Shevchenko fight before she had the second one. It was rebooked, the second one, because the first time she had to pull out because she had sinusitis. She had big sinus issues. So that nose is a bit of a target that Irene Aldana can mess up with the jab if she stays apart from her. I mean, listen, she's not fought in over a year. Seems like she has 1 foot out of the door, if I'm being very honest. And I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm just gonna make a pick now because I've given my thoughts on it. I think Irene Aldana is going to. I think Irene Aldana is gonna win this fight. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say decision. She could catch Amanda with some kind of crazy combination while Amanda's trying to push the pace. But I'm gonna say Irene Aldana is gonna use the boxing. She's gonna shock the world, I think, because quite honestly, I wouldn't give her a chance. But I think if you want to see what an upset is, I think Juliana Pena showed. If you have gritty toughness, and you're not willing to wilt under the pressure that is created by Amanda Nunes, you always have a chance. I saw Jermaine randomly have a chance as well, and she was not crumbling under the power of Amanda Nunes. You just have to have somewhat of a well-rounded game and be able to use your game plan. You have to force the game plan on eventually. I think Irene Aldana is going to edge this out. I'm going to say Aldana by decision. It'll be shocking, quite honestly. Babila was a pleasant. Okay. I think Irene Aldana for a shock in Canada. That's what I'm going to go with. Yeah, I'm going to go with the real upset will be tomorrow night, bruv. Inter, haha. There we go, man. We're done with UFC 289 preview, guys. That is it. I will be live in about 24 hours actually from today. The streams are set up already. Feel free to join. Sorry for joining so late. Electricity was out due to storm and net was down. It's no issues, dude. Today is the first day. It rained pretty much. It rained in the morning, evening, and now in the night. You can go first day. The monsoon's incoming, dude. The monsoon's incoming. Just before we sign out, guys, I will just do a little check on United because there is things going on. So I want to see if anything of note's happening. If no, then we shall move. We should move after this. I'll just shut it down. Whoa. This can't be real. This cannot be real. Okay. Check that out, guys. Apparently that's Sir Alex Ferguson. Sheikh just been at Man United 18 minutes ago. Of course, Casemiro gets Player of the Month in May. Glazer needs to decide what they're doing. Apparently, yeah. Listen, I don't believe any of this. Eryk Ten Hag has never changed position over Victor Lindelof. He's untouchable. Same message sent to Atletico and Inter last January, since still valid now. Eintracht were never in concrete talks with Man United. Atletico and Inter were keen on signing, but no chance. Yeah, they say he's not a good player, dude. They say he's not a good player. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely? He's not a good player, guys. He's just always in demand somehow by big teams. Let's see, this is not real. Oh no, is that bad? Chicharito has had a ACL injury. Man, I can't believe he's still playing. So the Glazers contacted Nasser Al Khelaifi to persuade Sheikh Jassim to increase the bid, to which Sheikh Jassim has done. Now this is real news. Apparently, United Faithfuls, it's an aggregator account. Egg will work is magic again. I believe tomorrow. So please share the word, like, share, and comment. 7 subs away from 800. Indeed, trusting on Lindelof is crazy. Listen, dude. He is a lot better. Is United's Nacho, to be fair? I like Lindelof too, dude. I was on Jayant and Suraj's channel way before we got Varane and anyone, and I said Lindelof's way better than Harry Maguire. Just plays like crap because of Harry Maguire. Transfer intel says United. Nah. Breaking news: Manchester United made it clear to the representatives of Napoli defender Kim Min-jae that they're interested in him. Sky Sports News. City Sports. I don't know if this is real or not. Valued bill. Let's see about this, man. I don't know about this. 6 billion valued bid is for Manchester United has been accepted. Let's see about that, guys. Don't get too excited. Don't believe these things. Nasser Al Khelaifi has been told. The Glazers have called him on to talk about it. Okay. Anything else? Bro, being like Nacho isn't an achievement. I don't trust Sky Sports. By the way, Nathan, Spider-Man 2 released in 20th October. You can pre-order it or you can buy it. You can digitally buy it by June, right? I don't understand what that even means, dude. Okay, some stupidity is going on here. All right, guys. There's nothing of note here. I'm not going to take any more of your time. We have done the UFC 289 preview. If there is any takeover news, I shall be part of it. One way or the other. I might go live. Or something. Let's see what happens. Don't want to say. I hope Qatar buys Man United. It's their last bid. They seem frustrated. Who wouldn't be swapped? They just keep wasting everybody's time. Bro, what do you know? Macho's the dream substitute, definitely. Listen, man, I'll take it. I'm very happy with Victor Lindelof. I'm not gonna complain. Let's just put it that way. I don't mind him. I don't mind him at this point of time. But let's see what happens in the future. I want to talk about too far forward. Pre-ordered from June digitally. You can buy collector's edition, which has a Steelbook 18 and Spidey collectible. Oh, okay, cool. That's it, guys. I'm done with my stream. I will see you tomorrow, 12:15. I don't know, but there's a weak rumor. But Qatar will go for Spurs if Man U didn't accept it. Yeah, apparently, Qatar will just go looking to buy another club eventually. So let's see what happens. Swap. You might have some luck there, buddy. Lindelof's not a starter, Arnav. He's not a starter. He's starting now because everyone's injured. Benfica closing in on deal sign Orkun Kokcu. 30 million euros to Feyenoord. Sell-on clause around 20%. Contracted 2028. Man, I would have taken Orkun Kokcu. I would have 120 million euro release clause into Benfica contract. 120. 5-year deal. Oh, that's over. Navi Keita will join Werder Bremen as free agent. Jesus, it's really downhill, isn't it? Bernardo Silva to Altai. Okay. Fake account. Already pre-ordered. I don't have PS5. Egg videos keeping me alive. Comment on Messi's stupid move. Listen, dude. If the man wants to go to play Inter Miami, let him go, bro. Like, for me, it makes no difference. He can do what he wants. Nacho will sign new Real Madrid deal next week. Documents are ready. It's done and will be sealed within 3 to 4 days. New deal will be valid till June 2024. Oh, he's signing a 1-year deal. There you go, Arnab. I gave you some news. Who the fuck joined Soccer Saying Club? Soccer Saying Club. Okay. There you go. Some news for you, Arnab and Parag. I don't know if you know that, but in the next 3-4 days, it will be confirmed, signed. I should say. 1-year deal for Nacho. Fernandez. Mathis tells agent Kamara, many clubs you would like to have Mathis, not small ones. We've already communicated. That's very clear to us. Mathis will stay at Bayern to improve. Okay, don't care. Daniel Levy, the notion that Tottenham haven't backed certain managers is incorrect. Yeah, that's not incorrect. We're currently paying the price where some of the acquisitions have not turned out to be as we hoped. We want Ange Postecoglou to play attacking football and trust the academy. Oh boy, trust the academy. That's not a good sign for Angie boy. AS Roma final proposal to Evan Ndika, 4 million euros net salary per year plus signing bonus on a 5-year deal. Negotiations are very advanced now at final stage to get it done. Evan Ndika, I believe, is a free agent this season. It's Fernandez, not Hernandez, bruv. No, I said Fernandez, dude. Did I say Hernandez? Nathan, ignore my comments. Talk more, bro. Don't do. What do you mean? Not ignoring your comments, dude. I can't. Oh, you have already pre-ordered Spider-Man. Okay, I thought you were asking me to pre-order. Inter Miami ranks lower than Gokulam Kerala FC. Want to participate in that? He hates me so bad. No one hates you. Christian Pulisic has concrete chances of leaving Chelsea this summer. He has green light from the club to try new chapter in case conditions are met. AC Milan are informed there are more clubs in the race. Priority a permanent transfer. Oh boy. All right. Juventus have decided against triggering the 7 million euro buy option clause for Eryk Milik. Told Olympic Marseille are not planning to reduce the asking price, no discounts. OM are prepared to sell Milik but not less for 7 million euros. Seriously, Juventus, you don't have 7 million euros? Alvaro Morata signs new contract with Atletico Madrid June 2026. Rooting for Inter and Charles, let's go. Me too. Jude is here, by the way, Nathan. He rejected City United, chose a legacy club. Listen, dude, I told you he's not going to Liverpool, man. I said it was Chelsea, City, United, or Real Madrid. It was never going to Liverpool. I said it so many times, people were laughing at me. They're okay, dude, cool. Like, why should I bother? I knew we weren't going to get him anyway, man. Apparently, Glazers have a hidden clause. Please, Perez, buy Davies now. All right, guys. I've taken enough of your time. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Champions League final. We're live 15 minutes before the game. Davies would be a dream, man. Alphonso Davies would be a dream. Ferland Mendy turned out to be a waste of money, didn't he? You can't get everything right, ladies and gentlemen. You can't get everything right. That's what. Even Florentino Perez can get things wrong, but that's not really his problem. Cry Nathan, Mason won't be so bad for United. I just don't want other people's players, dude. That's it. It has nothing to be with be bad for my team or not. I just want to get a new player, mold him into our way, or a established player from another team in the Premier League. It doesn't turn out so well historically when we do that stuff, so I don't want it that way. But if the coach wants him, then we back it, dude. It's simple as that. No questions asked. Davies' agent hinted Nathan, see Twitter. Yeah, no. I'm just saying, dude. He'd be a good buy. He'd be a good buy over Fallen Mendy. I agree. Mendy's fragile. It's out of hands. Yeah, dude, listen. Like I said, you can get things wrong, dude. You can buy all the players, still get it wrong, I just realized that Eden Hazard played 76 games for Chelsea in 4 years. It is what it is. Anyway, guys, take care. I will see you tomorrow for the UCL Champions League final where in can the Nerazzurri beat the Citizens. We're going to find out tomorrow. Take care, guys. Good night. We have a double watch long tomorrow. We have the Champions League, and then at 7:30 in the morning, we have UFC 289. Feel free to join me on the road to 800 subs. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have a good weekend. And enjoy the game tomorrow. Most importantly. Good night, guys. Take care. Nathan tomorrow supporting Lukaku. I thought we were friends. Supporting Inter, dude. Not Lukaku. Karma Fede, Jude, Chouameni. Only 3 of them can start, Arnab. We're going to see which 3. Take care, guys. Good night.